is often said that anyone can be a father, but it takes a real man to be a good dad. The big question is, are you a good dad? Joining me now to discuss the 9 characteristics of a good father is psychotherapist of the Family Life Ministries, Kevin Bailey. Good morning, Mr. Bailey.
Hey, morning.
Good to see you, friend.
Great to be here.
You guys, are you good dads? Well, I asked him already and him tell me, are you a good dad?
He's a good one.
He's a good dad?
Yeah.
Him say no, yeah.
I wasn't, as I said, I wasn't when I was a young dad.
Yeah.
There were many things that I thought I could have done differently. I've tried to improve on that. But you kind of don't get no training for this, Mas Kevin.
No, it doesn't come with a manual.
Yeah.
Although we say at Family Life, no, we have a great book written by Dr. Davidson and Dr. Faith Linton that can help fathers and mothers. So we recommend that. But generally speaking, it doesn't come with a manual. And the work is so hard. I mean, to be a good father is hard work, and yet it is the most rewarding work if it is done well. So along the way, we keep learning. And I think a spirit of humility. I would like to think I'm a good father, but ask my son. Especially when he's vexed, and just ask him or ask my wife, ask other people. I think they might be better able to tell you the truth. But we try very hard. There are 4 fundamental messages that we need to send to our sons and our daughters as fathers. Is one, that they are lovable unconditionally, warts and all. The second is that they are valuable. That means they're worth something, like priceless. Third is that they are capable, that they come with skills, abilities, giftings, everything for them to do very well on planet Earth. And the final one is that they are forgivable. You're going to make mistakes, but it's a teachable moment. If we are to keep those 4 fundamental messages in sight, it shows us how we can grow. It shows us how we can create the environment for them to do well.
A father needs to be a provider.
Yeah, that is a big one. And when I think of provision, I am thinking also of what is it that your son and your daughter requires from you? Like your presence. That's a big thing, You provide yourself.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you, what if the roles were reversed and the mother was the earner and the father was the one who stayed at home? Does that make him less of a provider?
No, because the provision is wide. It encompasses both providing physical stuff, food, clothing, shelter, but also emotional, mental, spiritual guidance. Right. And the big one is your time.
Right.
For children, love is spelled T-I-M-E, we're often told. That's a big thing. So, provider, essential. And we encourage fathers as best as possible to do that.
And a father has to be a protector.
That is huge.
Another P word.
Yes, because one of the deep emotional needs of everyone is to be safe. And when the child comes vulnerable with all the challenges internally, externally, we should be there to protect them as best as possible from, those who may prey on them. We think of the abuses, physically, sexually, and otherwise, but also emotionally. How do we protect them? And we're well suited for that. We have the genes, the man gene as the hunter and the protector. And so it's so sad when we're hurting our children or hurting women, because that's not what we're created to do. We're created to be...
that out there, to be seen is actually just... it shows badly.
It is not. It is not manly. It's cowardice. It's insecurity. When we hurt, we were created to protect. We were created to provide the environment that they would feel safe. They could sleep. They could learn. They could enjoy themselves, have fun, and get roots and wings.
Well, I know Neville does the next one very well.
Father has to be affectionate.
Yeah, Neville is good.
Yeah, with the kids with that.
In many ways. By the way, most men don't come with that readily, by the way, being affectionate. As a boy, you grew up, if you fell on the ground and you cry, you get a box, right?
So jump up, man.
Sissy,
jump
a
up,
woman,
you're good.
You what? Yes.
You jump up.
And then now you come and you're told you need to be affectionate. Like, what is that? But it's the softer side. It's love, because we're human beings.
You kind of leave it to mom.
Yes. and we're afraid to hug.
Yeah.
And especially our sons. And our sons deeply need this. They want a hug. They want the cuddling.
I think that's one of the reasons why Neville is so good with his footballers, because that kind of affection that some of them particularly might not be getting at home.
Yes.
He's willing and open to do that.
Huge.
Yeah.
Great example. And I'm really hoping that men would kind of see the modeling and be encouraged. I know it's difficult because of their socialization, and yet change is possible. It is possible for us to become more affectionate. We learn, we can change.
And culturally, man, nothing to them thing, that kind of thing.
Yes.
Which kind of hurts.
Of course.
And it hurts our kids.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
What's the next one?
A good father has to be a teacher.
A teacher. you are a role model. The fact is that your son, your daughter looks up to you. It's like you're God, you know. When they speak, when you speak as a father,
mommy do this and my daddy.
my daddy, and the father has a commanding voice, and just the way he does and say things, the son is looking at him and say, I want to become. Generally, you know, a son
Not
loves
even just a son, a daughter too, because I can tell you my
Yeah.
daughter is like overly attached to her father.
her father. But I tell you something, she doesn't want to become like her father. The son wants to become like his father. Generally speaking, so the daughter now will see an example of how a man is supposed to treat me. What is a man supposed to be? And without being sexual. Or can I be intimate with somebody without having sex with them? That's what the father is setting the tone for, you know. Or can I hug somebody? How can I get compliments and not head over heels and know says better I'm going? No, because I'm secure in my own skin.
Yeah.
Right.
Because that tone would have been set from the
daddy.
beginning, from daddy.
Child-centered, not self-centered.
Child-centered, and I think of this because it's huge. Because of situation, divorce, separation, death, etc., there are some difficult situations where both parents may not be together.
Right.
And so because of what has happened, all the pain and the betrayal and the anger
Carry over into the relationship
yes,
with
the
the child.
father may say, because I'm not with you, I'm not taking care of my child.
Right.
And shift it to what is in the best interest of the child. It's a blessing, it's a gift. And not because you're not in a relationship with the child's mother, then you are to take it out on your child.
Tell
No, you ought to be able to say, this is my child, this is my gift, this is my blessing, and as best as possible, I am going to focus on what is best
Right.
for my son and my daughter.
And we talked about role models and teachers, and that kind of wraps into one. The next one is that he has to be a disciplinarian.
Yes, discipline, and discipline, you know, is really guidance. It's how do you set limits? You know, when you look at proper parenting, it's both love and limits. And discipline does not mean cruelty. It does mean abuse, because again, we're a shame-based society, Jamaica and the Caribbean. We abuse our children expecting them to do well. It can't work. But then again, that's what we got from our parents. And now we have to change the script, we have to change the narrative by saying, this is how I'm guiding you. And the rod was supposed to be used as guidance, as protection, not beating down on your son and your daughter.
I remember seeing an interview with Barack Obama, and he was asked if he's not concerned if some little gentleman went come check his daughter.
Yes.
And he said his daughter has seen what he or how he behaved with his wife.
Yes.
So she has she knows what the gentleman's supposed to do.
And if you don't do that-
I say that to say
Yes.
this: treat wife as a queen.
Yeah, that is huge, because by right, you know, in every child's mind, son and daughter, ideally, they want mom and dad to be together forever.
Yeah.
We get that. But we know that there are different situations. Now, if you are married and you have a wife, it means that when you send a signal to your child that I'm committed to my wife, I love her, I'm treating her right, one, they feel safe. Two, they recognize, but this is how you're supposed to treat another woman. This is how a woman
Which is
treats
what
a
Barack
man,
Obama was
and
suggesting.
vice versa. So they get these messages, because what we're seeing is a modeling behavior. And sometimes it's amazing. What we do is so powerful, you know, more powerful than what we say. It's just like you saying to a child, don't smoke, but
Yeah,
I'm
you smoke
smoking.
a cigarette.
I don't tell lie, I don't steal, but electricity, there's nothing you're paying there. What is the child seeing? I'm just saying they're seeing you stealing, and so it etches here.
But when-
recognition.
Daddy can do it and
I
get
can-
away
And
with
get away with it, then this is it. And they think it's normal.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing wrong with it, because you have set the standard for them.
Yeah, the last one we have here is that good dad is supposed to be a spiritual leader and friend.
And I think spiritual leading is extremely important. It's always good to be able to call on a higher power, to get a wisdom from somebody outside of yourself. Because, and my perspective is that you're going to worship something. And you might worship yourself or you worship other people. But there's a kind of love that you give to God that allows you to be humble and allows you to draw strength from Him and wisdom. And you can do that in different ways to set that tone for your child. To know that, you know, when everything else seems that is a failure, that there is a higher power. There's God that you can actually pray and talk to and have a real relationship with that can help you. So you don't have to commit suicide. You don't have to go into certain places when the real challenges come.
So
I
don't just
think
send them to church, go with them.
it would be great if you can.
But at least send them.
Yes, that's better than not sending them.
James, I try to feel better about the fact.
And guess what? You can read literature, you know, and get perspective. You don't necessarily have to be a
go to
believer.
church.
No, I'm just saying, just like when you read a good book.
Yeah.
Why not check the Bible, for instance, with all of the wisdom, and check the Proverbs and the Psalms and a number of things, and have some conversation, get the perspective. You're not forcing anything,
Right.
but just like when you get a Shakespeare and other books, you can get some knowledge from Scripture and spiritual leadership.
Always good to see you.
Good stuff.
Pleasure. Great to be here.
All right. A psychotherapist of the Family Life Ministries, Mr. Kevin Bailey.
The story of another Smile Super Dad when we come back. Stay.